Hello, my friends. Welcome back to the ThePCelitist. My name is Woodsie.
My name is Shepherd.
And today's subject has to do with MMOs. We've been playing Terra here and there.
Mm-hmm.
It's really fun. It has a good combat system.
Great combat system. And some of the armor models are fantastic.
Yes. Your character always looks pretty.
Yes, he does. I mean, the game, there's so many things about it. Visually, it's a beautiful game.
Right. But this isn't about Terra.
Oh.
This
okay.
one video.
Just MMOs.
Yes. MMOs in general. I think I have a beef with the current model of MMOs.
Mm-hmm.
And the class system. And I think there's a major flaw that I don't see anyone addressing. I'm sure some viewer will enlighten me where it is being done, but I haven't seen it. And basically what happens in MMOs, as I see it, is...
By class system, you mean RPGs, or do you mean classes like Battlefield 3 classes as well?
Like
or
tank, DPS,
okay, healer,
support, healer, what have you.
So more on the role-playing side.
Yes. So I see it as everyone levels up together, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's a class system, but by the time they get to the end game, and everyone's supposed to really fall into their class, you're supposed to be a tank, you're supposed to be a DPS, you're supposed to be a healer. People don't want to do what they've been, like what their class is. How many times has a healing class, I want a DPS, I could do it. You know, you heard that 1,000 times in WoW.
Yeah, I've seen that in Terra too.
Right.
But yeah, in WoW, people, I have decent shadow gear.
Right. Or in Terra, the warrior is supposed to be able to tank by evading, which in Terra you have to actually evade. It's not a numbers game, which I find intriguing. But people say, oh, it's not good enough because there's sometimes you just, frankly, need a shield. You need a Lancer who's just a shield, a big rock to hit, right? So then they water it down, which happened in WoW. They took the class system. Warriors were your tanks in the end. Now, like, it's everyone can tank. A priest can tank if they want to.
Druid can tank. Paladin can tank. You have 4 classes that can tank. Shamans, you can probably tank.
Yeah. Yeah.
Elemental.
If you have a defense, stat, people think they
Shadow
can tank.
Step Rogue can tank.
Rogues do think they can tank. Oh, I can evade tank this thing. So they water down all the classes so everyone could kind of do different things. And I was wondering why does this phenomenon happen in the first place? And I started thinking about to other games. A lot of other games, like I'll use Portal as an example. They teach the player how to play the game, and they layer challenges. So like Portal teaches you how to get through one challenge, right? And then they teach you in the next room how to do another challenge.
And then they give you a cumulative challenge that tests all
it.
All the
They're
skills.
teaching the player how to play the game.
And
then,
Portal 1 did that fantastically.
Yes, it did. And then they challenge the player. MMOs don't do that. Everyone levels the same way. Everyone just kills stuff to level. And after you do that for 40 hours and
Kill stuff, gather stuff, escort stuff.
Right.
Basically.
Deliver stuff. Right?
Take this letter to the guy behind me. You mean the one right next to... Yeah, right behind me.
Yes.
Take this letter.
I'm not allowed to walk.
1,200 experience, 500 gold. Brilliant. Someone spent time writing that quest.
Yes.
Carry on.
I like how Terra actually makes fun of its own quest system sometimes. Anyway, but essentially, even though it's the quests are designed a different way to keep the variety, in the end, you're killing stuff. Everyone's playing the DPS all the way to the end. And then when the group stuff happens, when you actually have to play your class, you were never trained to do that.
The only time you were along the way is if you did instance done like 5-mans, basically, in WoW. But yeah, it's as a healer, you solo as a killing machine. You may kill slower, but you have to kill stuff.
Right.
Nonetheless.
So then that healer, I was a killing machine this whole time. All of a sudden, I get to level 60 and I want to keep advancing, and you're telling me I can't kill stuff anymore. Now I have to do this thing that I haven't done. Yeah,
that I've only trained for relatively few, as a percentage, relatively little of the time I've spent playing this game.
Right. And therein lies, in my opinion, the problem. They should be making quests based on your class, and if healing isn't fun enough to do it for 60 levels, it's not going to be fun to do it for...
And then game content.
Yeah, exactly. So tanking needs to be fun and needs to be part of the game all the way through. And I was thinking of ways that I would do it. Like, maybe there's no such thing as soloing. Like, all the monsters are really strong, and if you don't have friends to play with, you're given 2 NPC versions. Like, just quickly, I was thinking, well, maybe the tanking class in said game was some sort of engineer, right? So when you don't have friends to do it, you have these 2 robots. You have, like, a robot healer and a robot DPS, and your job is to just take the damage.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Something to...
Yeah, you definitely would have to address soloing. Like, for, especially, obviously, for tanking and healing. Healing, especially.
Right.
You'd need... it's interesting. You could go at it in the element of kind of a more solo aspect. I think there are more than 2 ways to go about it, but the first 2 that come to me are, if you continue with the model of killing a bunch of stuff as a way to earn experience, you would need then either you could tank stuff and just kill it very slowly, or as you say, you got to kind of go the social route. What if you did away with a lot of the killing in the first place? And you'd have to find quests that were more varied, and frankly, it'd have to be more fun, because a lot of people love killing stuff. That's how that's how all of the customization and improvement of your character manifests. It's am I doing more damage and killing more quickly and efficiently than I did 10 levels ago.
Right.
But I wonder if there's something to kind of reshaping questing, and I'm not sure exactly how to do it, especially if the point of the game is to be a combat-ready individual. Be it your primary, secondary support, what have you. But like for healers, though, I think that your experience should come from some kind of objective assessment of how well did you heal in that last encounter.
Right.
Like, are the quests instanced kind of battlegrounds where you were healing? Like, if you want to solo and it's like an NPC war going on, how effectively did you keep everyone healed?
Right.
I feel like you kind of have to decide. Do you need, when you solo, is it with NPCs or was it with other people? You can kind of do a hybrid, but I think it's tricky, but it's certainly worth considering, because I think you make a good point about how, like, when my druid healer that I played most often, yeah, I felt like I had pretty good healing experience when I finally got to all the end game, because I did some of the raids along the way at 60, 70, 80 and such. But yeah, you get to the end game and all that intensive, focused healing effort.
Right.
I wasn't really battle tested because I was just killing stuff the whole time. As a balanced druid, I would just level as balanced and then switch to resto.
Right. I
felt like that's kind of stupid. I want to learn and feel attached to my character and his talent build all along the way.
Right. That's. I mean, I think that's where all the complaining comes from in World of Warcraft. I mean, people, they go, "Oh, in the past in vanilla WoW, you run up as a druid. Hey guys, I want a DPS for you. DPS as a what are you doing? You're a healer. Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that, in my opinion, of having direct classes. But I think the definitions weren't there. We are creating a healing class. I feel like in Terra, this is a healing class. It tells you that's your support class. That's what you do. And if you are going to create a class that's support, A, I think you should be able to play the whole game like that, in that style. And B, I think it should be fun. If you can't do that, if you can't make a fun support class, then your game is flawed.
I think that one of the issues here is how different audiences define the word specialization. It sounds like in Vanilla WoW, for example, specialization meant we have these distinct classes. They perform specialized roles. If you want to play that role, choose that class. If you don't, choose a different class.
Right.
That's what they meant by specialization, whereas now specialization is more of how do you want to specialize your character. If that is a hybrid of multiple classes, then what that means is you are getting extra super focused on a particular build that you're going for.
Right.
What ends up happening is, kind of like in KOA, which was interesting, is you become a jack of all trades.
Right.
But master of none. So you could heal yourself a little bit, you could deal some damage, and you could take a bunch of damage, but you're not going to excel in any one of those categories. So you may feel like, oh, I've specialized my character the way I want it to be, but I'm not performing a specified role. Or if I am, we have a bunch of people we're all jacks of trades.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, we just kind of hope that our cumulative DPS and tanking and healing gets us through, as opposed to, no, we have a tank who takes so much freaking damage, but never dies. Because we have a super amazing healer who is so good at what he does.
Right.
So I think there's certainly something to be said for that. Like, what do we want to define the word specialization? What do we want that to mean?
I think
I think what we're seeing is a shift away from we're defining these classes for you, play them how you want, because people think of that as closed-ended, but maybe this open-endedness is leading to a point of everything being watered down.
To me, what my ideal is and what I think should be done, if you're going to make a class system, you're going to have different roles. It's like TF2. Because that's basically what it is. At the end, there's a class. You need a medic, you need a heavy, you want all these things, and it's kind of a rock, paper, scissors thing going on.
Or you play 2 Fort and there are 18 snipers.
Right.
If they remove the class restrictions.
Right, but if some medic was on the forum saying, I don't do enough damage, I want to do damage, Valve would tell you, then play a different class.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's a good point. TF2 does do a good job of specializing the classes in that way.
Right. So I think if an MMO is going to have class system, then they need to stay what they are, and they need to be fun to do, because it's fun to heal in TF2. It just is. So you need to do that. If you're going to make a watered down kind of jack of all trades kind of thing, then get rid of the classes. Just make it like Elder Scrolls, where you're just a guy and there's a bunch of skills and you can do it however you want to do.
Like what the Secret World is trying to do, where they give you a pile of 500 skills, some active, some passive, and you just pick the ones you want to use.
Right. And if you get to the end of the game and they're like, and then all the players are like, well, to keep going with these big monsters, we actually need a guy who started this character to take damage. Mm-hmm. And that way it becomes...
I feel like in the end, it leads toward the most efficient group should be one that has very specified roles. And I think that it's not just for RPG games.
Right.
We experienced that in BF3.
Right.
You know, when we play, it's when Rousdower and I are in the chopper, and you and Rapid Fire Reaper are in a tank. We're playing very specified roles, and when we do that, the more we get specific in that role, the better we tend to do. But we also have rounds where all 4 of us are infantry, and we're just kind of, we have assault, we have medic, we have different things, and we're kind of we have this broad set of skills, and we can be successful that way. But I find it's most fun and most successful when we're playing very specific roles on the battlefield.
Yeah. So that's my point.
And that's just a microcosm of America in general. We love specialization.
I just think...
No more Renaissance men. That's what we're missing.
I think you need to pick something. You need to... If healing is an aspect of the game, and you're going to expect a guy after he hits 60 to keep doing it, it needs to be fun. And it needs to be something he could have been doing this whole time. You have to train the player correctly. But right now, it's kill, 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 kill. No, then all of a sudden, at the end, you're not supposed to kill anything.
Yeah, what are you doing? You wear cloth.
Get in the back, sir, and heal me.
Heal me. You're wearing a robe, sir.
Anyway, I have 2 things. I have 2 questions for the community. If they agree or not, or cool ways they think you could implement a healing leveling system. Like, how can you heal...
Or a tanking leveling system.
Right. How can you construct a game so you could heal all game and have it work? Because it's a tougher question. It might be a whole nother subject. How to even do that.
A whole nother.
Anyway, my name is Woodsie.
My name is Shepherd. We are the PC Elitists, and we're signing out.